Hey, it's Marko, Juras here from Fair Realty. A couple of weeks ago, I had an appraiser that called me and he had a couple of questions about parking at a unit I was selling and how do you come up with a parking spot comparable in terms of how much a parking spot is worth. And this mostly applies to downtown where parking is a bit more scarce than other developments. And it's a really good question, but a really complicated answer because it's an imperfect market. And what I mean by that is most condo developments downtown do not allow an individual to sell their parking spot to someone outside of the building. So really the worth of that parking spot comes down to the market for parking spots in that particular building. So let me give you an example. I own a unit in a downtown development. This particular development has 115 units and 84 parking spots. So there's a shortage of parking, quite a severe one, and parking spots rent anywhere from $150 up to $200 per month in this building. Parking spots in this building are probably going to go for pretty big money given the shortage, given the rent amount. So parking spot in this building can go anywhere from $25,000 to $35,000. There's other developments, for example, the Bayview Promontory that's under construction. There's 177 units and 230 parking spots. So there's really not going to be a shortage of parking in this particular building, and I doubt parking spots are going to rent for $150. They might rent for $50 a month, maybe $75, but certainly when you have that kind of excess supply, it's probably not going to be $150. So are the units in this particular, or parking spots in this particular building going to go $25,000 to $35,000? Probably not. So that's the key thing, is when you're trying to find a comparable for a parking spot, it really has to be within that building, because if the next building has a surplus of parking spots, obviously parking is going to be way cheaper to buy and way cheaper to rent. One thing to note though is not that many buildings allow an individual to sell their parking spot. The newer buildings coming on board are mostly, the parking spots are a 99-year lease, so you can sell your parking spot, but as I mentioned earlier, it has to be to someone within the building that owns a strata lot. That's it for this week. Marko, Juras, Fair Realty.